Hi, this is Jacob Allen, EDL 853 Mod 13. Section 1. What happened? So the Hernandez family moved into the Dover School District. The school is an older school, and it's still in need of updates. About a quarter of the school is still unremodeled from when it was originally built. Their son Miguel, one of 4 sons, is a football star at the school. While in the game, he got paralyzed from the waist down. He came back to school and had to change the science class because of a lack of access to that classroom because he was using a wheelchair, so he couldn't get to the science class he wanted, which was a problem because he needed the class for college. The Hernandez family then came back and said, "We're suing you over IDA, ADA, 504, and FAPE." So, like previously mentioned, the school could potentially be in violation of a 504 plan if it has been put into place, which it should. ADA, so the American Disabilities Act, and then IDA. And then this one I actually had to look up was there's probably no case for anyone being sued for the actual injury because it happened in regular gameplay due to inherent risk of the game. The ethical issues we have are that the school can't grant full access to every student because of physical limitations of the building. So ethically it feels wrong to say, "Oh, sorry, you can't go to that class because you can't physically get there." And then the other one is that you may be dealing with some backlash about a student being paralyzed at a school event. This could be some ethical issues about contact sports might come up, some issues just about a student being hurt while on school property. So the one-sentence summary of what happened is that the star football player was paralyzed from the waist down and as a result had his schedule changed because of a lack of access. So section 4, the facts. The people in this. Miguel, the biggest person in this, is the star football player. Dr. Harvey is the superintendent. And then parents do support this school pretty well, is what was said. So parents in general of the school are part of this. Mr. and Mrs. Hernandez. And then the lawyer, Howard Carey. The school is a school with 3,200 students, a high school. It is in Dover, built in the 1950s with relocatable trailers, and then about a quarter of the building is unremodeled. It feels like it's an urban setting based on the size, but I can't assume, because nothing specifically said so. And then lastly, it is a high school, and it seems as though this is a public high school as well. Again, nothing specifically said, but it just seems like it is a public school. So the stakeholders, who has a lot in this? Hernandez family has an important stake in the outcome because this is their son. Whatever happens will affect them probably the most, if not second most. The other one that I would say is at most is the principal and superintendent also have an important stake in the outcome. Principal and superintendent could be dealing with a very large legal battle. This community also has a stake in the outcome because I'm sure since this is the star football player, it's going to spread around town about what happened to this student. I also don't believe we have heard enough from the superintendent to know if there is a way to fix the need. There was mention of that there was not enough money at the very beginning, but also wanted to know why would they not be able to make things at least ADA accessible. But I do think there's enough information to take initial steps. So this is where I felt like the standard played in, that candidates using their comprehensive understanding and capacity to undertake and implement work within a school setting. This is where we had to start understanding who was a stakeholder and what was going to have to happen. So section 6, the options. First, the principal can take no actions and leave Miguel in his changed classes, and then he can go against the lawyer. The second option is you could switch the schedule back, move the teacher, the school can go into debt and fix the remaining quarter of the school, and set up a 504 meeting for the student if he doesn't already have one. And then the last option would be you could push a new bond to fix the school with Miguel's story as part of the reason to fix the school, using him as a look, we need some help. Use the community support to get the school fixed, and then bring in temporary ramps to the school until the building is fixed. So the pros and cons of each of those options. So for option one, the family could, if it went really well, I'll call their bluff, but I don't think that's a good term to use here. The family could back down and the school remains on budget. That was if things went well. And the cons, the school is sued and goes into major debt from legal fees, and jobs may be lost, principal and superintendent potentially. Option two, the Hernandez family drops the lawsuit and every student has access to classrooms. That's the major pro of fixing the building. The con is the school goes into debt from renovations. Option three, the school gets fixed and the school doesn't go into debt. You're using outside money. The cons are the family could feel like you're using them for the story, saying, oh, you're using our son to get money. And then lastly, this is where I felt like evaluate multiple sources fell into of inequality and bias in the allocation of educational resources and opportunities, having to think about what are the different ways that we could solve this problem of inequality and bias. So the choice is kind of a combination of a lot of things, I think, and it's kind of situational as well. So first off, I'd want to try to continue the meeting with the lawyer and the family to see exactly what they are looking to get out of this. Next, after having that meeting, I would inform them why a quarter of the school isn't fixed, just that the school district is broke. It's nothing against their son, it's just we don't have the money to fix it yet. You could, and I think there's a way you could work to get some funds from the community to fix the school. If family still demands Miguel be in the science class, I think this might be one of the better options to help out is maybe just have that teacher swap rooms for the period. Either way, if you fix the school, it's not going to get done that school year, and he may not be able to get to that class until, 3 years down the road when he's not even in school anymore. But there's got to be a way to bring in some temporary ramps as well to the school if we can't switch that science teacher, if that doesn't work out time-wise or just easiness-wise. And then lastly, it didn't seem like one had been made yet, but you could set up and get Miguel a 504 plan for the school so that teachers know, Miguel has these special needs for when he's at the school. Again, I think a lot of it's situational for what is right, because this is a tough one. You're probably not going to be able to fix the school. I think my get the community help is kind of a pipe dream, and you may not get a ton of the money. But lastly, this is where I feel like the two final standards came in, because you had to weigh out a lot of stuff. So using the equitable use of resources and opportunities through procedures, guidelines, norms, and values, so just normal school rules. And then advocate for the access to educational resources. We're trying to get Miguel equal resources to his classmates. Thank you for listening.